This Sportsnet Central update is presented by Quinten Resort and Casino.
Jimmy Butler, it's not working out well in Miami. It's an ugly ending, as he will serve a 2-game suspension for missing a team flight earlier in the day and had plans to join the Heat on Wednesday night. But Pat Riley and company said, no, you stay home for this 2-game road trip. So he's been suspended as the Heat will look to trade him. Obviously, Jimmy Butler has requested a trade, but Pat Riley will not budge right now. He's going to get what he wants. Jimmy Butler, I mean, I don't know what else you can say about that situation, man.
That's kind of funny, though, if you really think about that. Like, what if he missed the team flight and there was a 2-game road trip and they suspended him for those 2 games, but he's like, I didn't want to come anyway. That was just Jimmy's way. But obviously, the situation over there in Miami is just, it's a little bit of a mess. It's very uncharacteristic for a Miami Heat organization that has really been leading with class for the last years under the rule of Pat Riley over there. So really tough situation. You want to see some kind of resolve come of that situation so they get somebody for Jimmy Butler. He's been a huge part of what they built the past few years. So, you want to see them, something happen there. But, man, it's really, really tough to see. Kind of funny to me still. So.
Yeah, unfortunate situation. I don't think there's any question who's in the right here. I mean, and Pat Riley, I trust. I mean, he knows about professionalism, about building championship teams. And Jimmy Butler has done some really good things there. He does have a habit of, when he exits organizations, not doing it in the most professional way. So we'll see how it's resolved. But to me, like, Pat Riley is the rock of Gibraltar, really, in this league. He's taught many coaches and GMs and players for decades on how to conduct themselves, on how to take care of themselves on a daily basis. So to not heed that advice, to me, is unfortunate, not for just Jimmy Butler, for anybody.
Right.
So we'll see how it turns out. But Pat Riley, to me, is one of the greatest basketball coaches and GMs of all time. So I would just always defer to him.
Just wonder what Bam and Tyler Hero and those players on that Heat team were thinking, where it's just like franchise players missing flights and we have to deal with this every single night.
Then you really can't be a franchise player if you act like that.
No, that's a good point.
Let's be real.
Good point there. All right, time for tonight's Chase Alley-Oop. Oh, we're going to flash it back. Tomorrow marks the 10-year anniversary of this alley-oop dunk.
Hey,
look at that alley-oop dunk. That was part of the NBA record 37-point quarter for Klay Thompson against the saved Sacramento Kings. So take that, Sacramento. You weren't lighting the beam that night. This was unbelievable. You guys were both in the building. I decided not to go because it was the Kings. I didn't know they were struggling. And immediately I regretted it. I was like, wait, he's got 30, he's got 33, he's got 37. What a night.
Wow. History. Shout out to Alvin Gentry right there. Man, that was a special time because every night was something happening, and obviously it was capped up with a championship, but that was a special night, special performance by Klay Thompson. And it was a night, I think, maybe, was that the night where he missed, I think he might have missed
practice, maybe?
Shoot around or something like that?
Maybe against Indiana when he had the 60 points
Indiana.
on 11
He might have
dribbles.
missed shoot around, but he didn't miss anything during the game.
He even made some shots that didn't count in that quarter.
Yes, 2. I was sitting there. I was sitting underneath the scoreboard, so I couldn't really see the score count. So I'm sitting there by myself, and I'm like, whoa, like, I've never seen anything like this before. This is insane. And then when they announced he had 37, I thought they meant in the entire game. It was in the quarter. And then, lo and behold, years later, so Wilt Chamberlain obviously has the record 100 points. No one ever is going to break that. He did not have 37 points in a quarter when he had 100. So this is one of the incredible records of all time, along with that 60 points in 3 quarters on 11 dribbles. So, man, hail Klay Thompson.
Kind of makes me miss Klay right now, man.
If Kevon Looney said 2022, feels like a lifetime ago, 10 years ago.
2015.
Hey, man, seeing that, it's like euphoric recall.
Oh, no. That feels like it was 30 years ago.
Man.
Feels like I was a teenager watching that, man.
He can still shoot, too.
Oh, yeah, he can still shoot. We know that. Klay will always shoot. He'll be able to shoot when he's 90 years old. All right, Buddy Hield.
Best Robin in the history of the game, man. Jeez.
Well, Buddy Hield, we brought up the stat. He was rolling tonight. Actually, a solid night for Buddy Hield. We chronicled his struggles since the month of December. 6 of 12 from the floor, 5 of 9 from the three-point line. Hopefully he can build on this because he has been in a deep rut. But we were just hoping he scored one more basket than maybe score 18 or 19 because the Warriors are 10-0 when he scores at least 18 points in the game. When he doesn't score 18, you know the record, and he finished with 17. But overall, all jokes aside, a very solid night for Buddy.
Solid game, but look at these shots on the screen. a lot of catch and shoot off ball movement, in rhythm, in flow. That's what shooters need. And we say it all the time. Buddy Hield, for his career, is going to make 40% of his three-point shots if he gets high quality in rhythm and flow shots. Tonight, that was the case. As you said, we could have used just one more point, especially on the road.
Yeah.
But he had a really good game. You get him shots like that, he's going to knock them down.
I thought the ball movement indicated Buddy Hield's shots. Like he was doing a great job of moving, cutting. His spacing created room for Andrew Wiggins to attack. It created room for a big fella like Trace Jackson Davis to get in there and attack as well. So you need Buddy Hield to be aggressive. I thought he did a great job getting great shots as well. He was passing up some shots and they were taking really good, solid ones where his 2 feet were balanced. Those are the things that you need from Buddy. And as they move forward, you got to get more quality shots from Buddy like that. 6 for 12 tonight, 6 for 9 from the three-point line.
Yep.
If you get Buddy more shots and they're high quality, then you know what's going to happen. It's going to go in.
Encouraging night for him.
Yeah, and 31 assists, 22 made threes, a really good offensive night, something you can really build on. But again, the points off turnovers and then the free throws. That's what really cost the Warriors.
You brought the three-point shooting up here. First half, Warriors 14-26 from the three-point line. Look, in the second half, they were 8 of 22. But I look back at that third quarter again. When they got outscored 37-20 in the third quarter, they were 1 of 10 from the three-point line. They did get the 30-6 mark. The 20-made three mark, but it wasn't enough because of the turnovers offsetting everything, Bully.
Yeah, the turnovers. Also, I thought the Sacramento Kings low-key went to that zone, and the double team, the shots weren't as defined. When they were double teaming Steph Curry at the top of the floor, these shots are wide open. The passer sees his teammate wide open. You see time and time again, nowhere near these people. The zone, I thought, changed the momentum of the game to where those shots weren't as obvious. And we saw some turnovers against that zone, unforced turnovers against that zone.
I want to see the Warriors attack the paint more. Because some of those shots you see when Steph gets into the paint, when Wiggs gets into the paint, and Schroeder gets into the paint, these good things happen in those cases. I want to see the Warriors when they're struggling, when they're bleeding like they were in the third quarter and turning the ball over 8 times as opposed to 7 in the whole first half. I want to see somebody take the ball, be solid with it, get it into the paint, in the middle of the paint, where those guys are on the wings, and you can create shots for those guys and be simple. This is why you brought Dennis Schroeder here. This is why you have an Andrew Wiggins here. These guys, in those moments, kind of like how DeMar DeRozan was for the Sacramento Kings. Every time they got into a rut, they gave the ball to the guy that they knew was going to go get a bucket, and he went and got a bucket. And so for them, the same thing for the Warriors. They need a go-to guy just like that.
I think that's a great point. DeMar DeRozan does not shoot a lot of threes. He made some tonight.
He made a big three in the fourth.
Go-to guy outside of Steph.
Right.
But you don't hear people complaining about him shooting mid-range shots because he makes them. And as Festus said, if the Warriors are going to struggle from the free throw line and making layups, there's still a lot of real estate between the three-point line and the paint.
Yep.
And they could be on balance, pull up 15-footers. I know analytical people do not like that shot, but I'd rather shoot an open 15-foot shot than a contested layup. So, there's a lot of real estate. And look, defenses are always going to try and sell out and take away the three-point shot. Don't over-penetrate. Look for that mid-range shot or get to the paint, get 2 feet in the paint to try and bring the defense in. So decision-making, as Steve Kerr mentioned, was a little shaky in the second half. But I thought overall, pretty good performance that they can, learn some things from this in a positive way.
And Quinten Pulse, who showed that he may not be going down to Santa Cruz anytime soon. Right now, he's at the podium.
Okay, podium game.
Podium game for Quinten Pulse.
I feel like mostly just about effort. Just play my hardest out there, do the little things, and don't overthink anything. Just play the game, how I've always played it, and go from there.
What do you think went wrong in the second half as a team today?
Turnovers. I think in the first half we did a really good job of handling their blitzes, their traps on Steph, and in the second half we just threw the ball over way too much, especially in that third quarter, I think. So not sure what went wrong, but that's definitely where, we need to look back at and see what we can do better.
What did you notice about the kind of looks that you guys were getting when you were out there with Steph and some of the freshman guys?
Honestly, the game's kind of a blur right now, but I think we got some decent looks. I think probably at the 5, I provide a little more spacing, so it's definitely a different look out there than with Trace or Loon. So it's like both for me, but also for the other guys, I think, like kind of having to get used to. Like there was one play, for example, where Steph throws it to the roller, which is me, but I popped, and it's a turnover, right? So that's where like we just don't really know each other that well as a player, so kind of have to figure that out and have to get used to each other. So definitely a lot of learning points, but hopefully we can build on it.
What are some ways you try to get on the same page with a guy like Steph, who you don't practice that much with, you're not always in the same city?
Yes, exactly. Honestly, good question. Like I think, like that's kind of part of being a rookie. You just kind of have to figure that out. I mean, obviously, what Steph has done for this organization, it's kind of his organization. So I just have to fit in, and I'll figure it out, and I'll talk to him about it. And but he's a great leader, and he tells me kind of like what he likes in certain actions, and yeah, it'll just take a little time, but we'll figure it out.
Highlight Zone coming up on the other side. There was plenty of highlights. This was a fascinating basketball game as the Kings steal it. They won their 4th straight regular season game against the Dubs, 5th overall. But we do have some highlights. Stick around for that here on Toyota Warriors Post Game Live.
Toyota Warriors Post Game Live is brought to you in part by Mancini Sleep World. Visit Mancini Sleep World during the President's Day sales event or visit us online at sleepworld.com. And by your local Kia dealers. Visit kia.com to discover movement that inspires.